Welcome back to my channel, or to my channel if you are new here. This is episode 2 of my series for this December, where I am letting an advent calendar choose my reading. So how I'm doing this is I put prompts into this advent calendar that I'm reusing from last year, and each prompt has either like a time limit that I have to read for the day, a book I have to read, or a prompt that I have to choose a book for. Last week I did 7 of these, so we're just gonna continue that. I actually only read 6 books last week. One of the prompts was literally just to finish a book. If you're interested in watching that video, it's already up, but if you just want to watch this one, that is perfectly fine as well. Do what you want. And with that, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the day 8. We're on day 8. Oh my god. Here's day 8. And I'm gonna pick it out, and as always you guys will see it first. Okay, what does it say? Read a manga. Okay, I got this. This is great. This is fantastic. It's already like 2:30, so getting that prompt is great. I do already have one that I'm gonna read because I think that it's perfect for winter, and also on top of that I have already started it, but I'm not that far into it. So let me grab it. The book that I'm picking up for this prompt is gonna be Witch-Hat Atelier Volume 2. I started this because my brother started it and he's like, "You're gonna love it, you should read it." Can you hear my family in the background? Sorry. And I started it and I do really enjoy it. I typically just read manga slowly though. I'm not a speed reader. I don't like binge read manga or really like any series. But I did start this. I have no idea where I'm at in it. So we're just gonna pick it up and I'm gonna figure that out later. But I'm really excited. The series follows a girl who wants to be a magician. She ends up doing some magic that causes her mom to turn into stone, I believe, if I remember correctly. And so she's trying to get that fixed, and this man comes up and he's like, that sounds really creepy. This man comes to her and he's like, "Hey, I have this school. I'm gonna teach you how to do magic. We're gonna get your mom situated and you're gonna come with me." So she comes to this school and there's a couple other kids there, and it's just like they're learning magic and they're doing magic, and it's just a fun, cozy type of vibe. So I am going to finish this volume for this prompt because I think that that would be really fun. It's now the next day. I finished up Witch-Hat Atelier literally just a second ago. It's currently, what time? 1:30. So it took me about 50 minutes to finish this up. I literally had only read a chapter last night, and I was only a chapter in from like the start of it. So total I had like pretty much 70% of the manga to finish. So I finished that up and I really enjoyed this. I think this is such a good, cozy fantasy. If like, there's high stakes, but it's also just like, it's just so whimsical, and I love it so much. This is also getting turned into an anime. I think it comes out next year, which is really exciting because I'm really excited to see it animated, and I think that it's just going to be really fun. So I don't think the actual series is even that long either. So I'm very excited to continue in this series, and I really just want to. It ended off on a cliffhanger for this volume, so I just want to continue in it. But yeah, I absolutely love this. In this volume specifically, we're following our main characters as they deal with the dragon, and then they're also like helping people, and the apprentices are just really trying to improve their skills while also just living their magical lives, and it's just so much fun. And I'm just really happy that I finally got around to finishing this volume. So with that being said, I love how it like doesn't even take an hour for me to finish it, but I was just like, let me just wait months to do the sew. Anyways, we are now officially on day 9, which is crazy to me, but we're gonna go ahead and get our little box. And yeah, I honestly don't know what this is gonna be. I mean, I obviously don't know what any of them are gonna be, but I'm hoping for something fun. I want an audiobook because I want a bullet journal, but we'll just see. Okay. What is this? Oh, this is not an audiobook. Why did I put this in here? I hate myself for this. The Glass Menagerie. Let me grab it real quick. I absolutely despise myself in every way I possibly could. Like, what do you mean I chose a play? This is The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams. It's very short. Okay, like, that's fair. It's short. It's a play as well, so like the pages aren't super crazy long or anything. Why did I choose this though? I've been trying to get more classics in. I love reading, and I love reading just to do it as a hobby, but I also feel like I need to get more classics in. I need to get more nonfiction in. I need to stop just reading. I don't need to stop reading like fiction and stuff like that, because I do love fiction, and I think that there's benefits in reading fiction, but I also know that there's benefits in reading nonfiction and classics and stuff like that, even though classics, some are fiction. My point is, I am trying to get more classics in, and this is a short one, and I thought, because we're at the end of the year, I could quickly get this in and it could be just a grand old time. I totally forgot that I put this in there though, and that this was even an option, so I hate myself for that one. I will say, I love the name Tennessee Williams. There's something about it that just, it like scratches my brain in the right way. I don't know how to properly explain it, but I do really love that name. We got the character list. Oh, there's not even a lot of characters, thank God. Okay, it looks like there's like 4 characters in this play, and then this is the actual length of the play. This is like an essay and production notes. Not that long of a play. We are cooking at less than 100 pages, so I'm gonna work on this and read it. I will let you know when I get a good portion into it what we're even dealing with, because I don't even know. It doesn't even say on the back what this is about, so we're walking into this blindly, which like I do with a lot of books. Let's be for real. Here's the thing, I want an audiobook. And so I think I'm going to listen to an audiobook, and you're getting a bonus book in this video that I'll talk about. So I have a couple different audiobooks that I can go with. I have The Christmas Murder. This is a murder mystery that's done through Christmas, so, or around Christmas. So I think I might go with that one. And then I also have Let It Snow. This is 8 hours long. I can't remember if I put that in the thing or not though. I really don't think I did. But I want to get around to that, because after that book I have one more John Green book, and I've read all of his books, and then he has a new one that's coming out in like March, so I gotta pick that one up. But I'm between those two. I also have Guillotine, but I don't think I want to pick that up right now, so I think I'm gonna go with The Christmas Murder Game. I think that that's just gonna be a fun murder mystery, and also on top of that, I'm hoping there's a game involved, and I absolutely love that in books, especially like murder mysteries. That kind of vibe is just, I love it. So I think I'm gonna pick up that, and I'll let you know. Do I know what's going on in that either? No, but that's what we're gonna pick up, and I'm gonna journal because I want to journal, and I'm gonna listen to my audiobook, and we're also gonna read The Glass Menagerie, which is fantastic. I think I'm gonna like it. I don't want to say that I'm not gonna like it because obviously I have it, I own it for a reason. I just am not in the mood right now to read it. But I think once I pick it up, because it's a play and I do like reading plays, that it will be better, like in my head. Does that make sense? Okay. It's a little bit later now and I'm exactly 50% through The Christmas Murder Game. I'm okay with it. I think that I would enjoy this more like physically reading it, and the only reason why is because you're following quite a few characters and you're having to kind of keep up with all of them. The thing that I'm enjoying the most is actually the atmosphere of like the setting. We're at a house called the Endgame House in this, which I absolutely hate that name. There was better options than that one. In this book, we're following our main character, Lily, who, wait, is that her name? Hold on. Okay. In this book, we're following our main character, Lily, who hasn't been back to this house in years. Her mother died there when she was younger and her aunt took her in, and she's just never wanted to return to this house. We're following her as she returns to this house because her aunt has passed away, and her aunt's like, you're coming to our Christmas games. This is like an annual thing that she obviously has not attended in years, and her aunt's like, you're coming to this because you need to be here. You need to compete for my house, basically. And the rules of the game is basically there are 12 keys, and whoever finds the specific key that unlocks a door, I believe. The key that unlocks the door is the winner of this game. You get the house and whatever else she gives you. I don't even know if there's anything else. So it is our main character and some of her cousins who are competing for the house. And yeah, basically it takes a turn, somebody dies, the very standard murder mystery type of setup. And I'm okay with it. I don't particularly have any attachment to the story. I think that I've realized something about myself while reading this, and that's that I don't like listening to these types of stories on audio, because one of my favorite books is The Weston Game, so I know I love these type of stories. I just don't know if like what it is about The Weston Game that sets it apart from the rest of these books that I've read. Maybe I enjoy watching murder mysteries more than I do reading them, but I'm just not really sure. So I don't know about that. I also feel like this book, even though we're 50% through, nothing much has really happened that made me care. Everything is very much lackluster and just, I'm listening to the audiobook and I'm just here. As far as The Glass Menagerie, I have not read any of that. Actually, that's a lie. I picked it up. I didn't even get through the first page. I read the character description, but that's it. So I gotta make progress in that, but I just wanted to update about The Christmas Murder Game. I did download the audiobook for The Glass Menagerie, but it is only one narrator, so that's kind of upsetting. But I'm very intrigued. The actual play though is only narrated by like one person, and so I'm hoping that I will enjoy it. I still am yet to find out really what it's about, but the audiobook's only 2 hours long, and I'm thinking about listening at a slower speed and reading along, and if I don't like that, then I'll just read it. It is now the next day and I have updates. Not that many, honestly. I didn't read much from when I updated you last night, but I do have a little bit of updates. So I'm still at 50% in The Christmas Murder Game. I started it this morning, but then I had to leave, so I didn't even get like 4 minutes into a chapter. And then I am currently on page 42 of The Glass Menagerie. This book is Like, I'm so bored and I don't really want to read it, but I also, like, if I'm not gonna read it now, am I ever gonna read it? But I also want to read it. And so I'm trying to just power through, and hopefully, so many people talk good things about this book, and yet I just feel like I don't know. So I'm really hoping that something just clicks and I end up liking it. So far, we're following this family of 3. It's the mom, the son, and the daughter. The son is like the sole provider of the family. The mom keeps pushing the daughter to find a partner, and she also was like going to school for business, and she dropped out, and her mom thought that she was like still going, and then her mom like went by the school and was like, you know, talking, trying to figure out like how her daughter was doing, and they're like, yeah, she don't go here. And so she doesn't even go here, and that's like where we're at. So it's just really slow paced, slow moving. It's not really grasping my attention. I think I would much rather enjoy the actual play. And also on top of that, I think I would enjoy this a lot more if I was reading it with a group, because like a lot of people read this in school and stuff, I feel like, and I think I would have enjoyed it more if I would have read it in school or along those lines. But yeah, that's that. And I thought we would go ahead and pull for today and see what the advent calendar chooses for my fate. Day 10, here we are. Let's go. I am hoping for something good. I also got some stuff from the library, so I want to show you that because I went by the library to drop off books. Anyways, here's what we got for today. What does this say? I don't like this. Is this another book title? Oh my god, kill me now. Lore Olympus Volume 1. Okay, let me go grab it. Let's talk about it. I started this over the summer. I am not that far. It doesn't have page numbers, but I'm this far into it. I read this much. And it's not bad. I don't really care about Greek mythology, and I want to be that girl so bad, but I'm not as of right now anyways, and I don't know. I'm hoping that I enjoy it as I read more. Listen, it could have been worse. I could have gotten another play, but I don't really want to read this either right now. But that's what we're doing. I tried the audiobook for this. It just was not it. I just didn't enjoy it. I literally listened to 2 seconds of it and immediately I was like, no, not working. So I put that down. But that's what we're working with. We're gonna read those. Did I tell you what Lore Olympus is about? Do I have to? Lore Olympus is about, I think it's Persephone and Hades. Is that right? Persephone, yeah. Hades, yeah. Okay, and it's a reimagining of Greek mythology. Greek mythology? I think that's right. And we're following them as if they're like regular characters, and they still have like the quirks that like their mythical like personas have, whatever you call it. So they're still very much like the same characters. It's just like humanized a little bit. I don't really know how to explain it, but anyways, in this, Persephone and Hades are like in a relationship or develop a relationship. I just don't really have much to say about this. I will kind of update you as I read it. Like I said, I don't really understand. It's not that I don't understand it. I guess that's the right word. I just don't, my brain can't comprehend anything to do with fantasy that well, and this included. So especially because I don't know that much about it to begin with, and so I don't know their backstories. I wanted to update you also on what I got from the library. So I'll start with the ones that I'm not like as excited about. It's not that I'm not excited about them. I got these for actually my sister. Both of these I haven't even heard of. I got The Daughters of Y. I have no idea what this is about. It looks kind of like mythology, so I'm intrigued, but I also don't know what is happening. So I got this. She really liked Nimona, and I'm thinking that this is gonna kind of be similar, so I got this. I didn't even know that they had this, but this is from the Grishaverse, so I'm really excited for this. I actually am excited to read this. What are you doing? You can't do that. So I am very excited to read this as well. But I did originally just get it for her. The actual book that I'm excited about, that I'm really surprised the library had right now, is So Thirsty. This is a vampire book. I have no idea what it actually centers around. I just know that vampires are involved, and also I kind of love this cover. What are you doing? Don't lick the book, please. This is the only novel that I got. I'm trying to work on not going to the library and getting like 25 books when I don't need that many, because I own books, and then on top of that I can get books from like Libby whenever I want more books. This is what I got from the library, and I am now going to go read. I finished both The Glass Menagerie and Lore Olympus Volume 1, and I have thoughts. First and foremost, let's talk about The Glass Menagerie. I finished this last night. I did not care for it. If I was rating this, it would maybe be like a 2.5, somewhere along those lines. It is, I get why it's popular. I get why people care about it. The circumstances that these characters are in is very much present in today's society. We have a mother who's obsessed with her kids being successful and being able to care for themselves. And then we have a daughter who has very much got social anxiety. She does not care about, she doesn't like know what she wants to do, and her only obsession is these glass animals that her mother calls like her glass menagerie. And she just is very like shy and socially anxious. And then we have the son, who is like the sole care provider for his sister and his mom, and he is struggling with working at this warehouse, and he doesn't want to do that, and he wants to be able to go on the ship, and he doesn't want to have to care for his family. It's very much just like rooted in the present today, even though this was written in like 1945, I think is when the play debuted. For the first, I'd say like 70% of this book, I did not care, and then the last like 30% I was invested. Maybe that's because I was just trying to finish it. I also think that the symbolism in here is interesting, specifically with the glass menagerie and how it represents Laura, I think is her name. Is that the sister's name? I kept getting the sister and the mom mixed up, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah. So I found that kind of interesting, especially when at the end something happens to one of her glass animals and it breaking. I think that was like a really interesting point of symbolism. But besides that, I didn't really care. What else? Also, Jim sucks. Don't like him. And then this morning I finished up, oh my god, this book is so heavy, Lore Olympus Volume 1. I don't think I'm continuing on with the graphic novels. I get why people like them. I can understand that, and I think even me, I could power through it, and I could read it, and I could maybe enjoy further in the series. But this is also coming out on a show, and I'd rather just watch that, honestly, because, or at least give that a try, because this is not this is not, I didn't really enjoy reading it that much. And I was kind of like, okay, I just want to finish this. And yeah, it kind of feels like a CW teen drama. And I don't really love that. This is exactly what they would do if they were like, let's just take these Greek gods and let's give them some teen drama elements. And that's exactly what this gives. I think both of these would be around the same rating for me if I was actually rating them. I just didn't really care about either one of them. And am I glad that they're off of my physical TBR? Sure, but at what cost? And we're gonna move on. So we're on to 11, and I am intrigued to see what I get today. We're so close. We're almost halfway there, which is crazy to me. I haven't read any more of The Christmas Murder Game. Is this upside down? If it's not, here it is. If it is, here it is. This is, oh, this is fun. Okay, so, it says Goofy Pigs, which Goofy is my dog. That's his nickname. His actual name's like Domino, but he just perked his ears up. But we're gonna have him pick. So the way that this is gonna work is I'm gonna choose a couple books that I actually do want to read. I'm gonna let him pick them. I'm gonna put treats on a couple books, and whichever one he chooses first is the one that he gets. This is about to be super chaotic, so bear with me, but yeah, this is fun. Okay, that was not nearly as chaotic as I thought it was gonna be, but my dog has made his decision. The book that he actually chose, The House at Watching Hill. This is an arc that I have, but it's already released. I believe this is fantasy realism. I might be wrong, but I know that there's fantastical elements. I don't know much more about it, so I will update you when I get to that point. So this is well over 300 pages, so I'm a little nervous about that, but I feel like it'll be fine because I'm listening to it on audio. I'm just hoping that I really enjoyed this. I obviously haven't had it on my TBR for that long, but it's still a book that'll be knocked off my TBR, which we love. So thank you, Goofy, for the recommendation. We're gonna hope he chooses right, because if not, he's banned from choosing my book ever again. So I really need a win also, so hopefully that's this. This is probably the most just great angle that I have ever gotten. Anyways, I have updates. It's currently like 11:30 at night, but I just want to chat. I want to yap a little bit, so let's do so. First things first, I finished House on Murder. No, that's not right. The Christmas Murder Game. And it was standard, it was typical. When you read as much as I have, especially in the mystery, thriller categories, horror categories, those categories, everything just feels very repetitive after so many books. And I think that's where I've gotten with my reading, because I've noticed, especially with this year, that that's a lie, not nothing, but a lot of what I'm reading isn't impressing me. Like, it's just standard, typical stories, and that's not to say that they don't have value, but to me, I need more. Does that make sense? And The Christmas Murder Game was a cool, like, it was a nice little cozy, that's not the right word. There was a lot of murder in it. It did nothing for me. It was fun, but it wasn't nothing crazy. I did, I think, write down notes, so hold on, let me find that. Should I have been more prepared? Absolutely. I said unoriginal and follows basic story beats to arrive at an unoriginal ending. And basically that sums it up. That's Christmas Murder Game, The Christmas Murder Game. I've been reading The House at Watch Hill. I'm currently 27% through the audiobook, which means I'm on chapter 8. And let's talk about this. This book is, I don't know how to feel about it. First of all, we start out in Indiana, which is interesting. That's where I live. And it threw me for a loop because I'm like reading the audiobook, and then she starts naming she said something about Indianapolis, and then she said something about Carmel, Indiana, which I'm familiar with both of those places. And so it was really like, it kind of threw me off. But we're not actually there for most of the story. We're in Louisiana, so I kind of got upset about that. After like chapter 1, we're not in Indiana anymore, and that was kind of upsetting because I thought that I was gonna get to like read more stuff about Indiana, and I just thought that that would be fun and like an extra additive to the reading experience for me. Anyways, literally upon getting there the first night, she's at this like, I think it was like the bar of, was it her hotel room or something? Basically, so what happens is she gets invited to Louisiana by this man who is in charge of the real estate for her aunt or grandma. Okay, I don't know. But anyways, she's there and she's like, this attorney's like, you have been left this inheritance. Also, right after her mom dies, like her mom dies in a house fire, and then immediately, granted she was dying from cancer to begin with, but immediately after that she's like, oh, I get to go see about my inheritance in Louisiana, and why not? Everything else is like falling apart. So she goes here to Louisiana, and literally she's in this like bar, and she meets this guy, this Irish guy, and and then they get freaky with it. And then the next day she goes to like meet the attorney, and she's like, what's my inheritance? Gimme. And he's like, yeah, so you get this creepy ass house, and it's gonna be great, you're gonna love it. And when she was originally like going to meet him, she sees this house and she's like, yeah, that's a creepy ass house, I don't want to be there, I don't even want to be near it. Lo and behold, that's where she's gonna sleep for 3 years before she can actually even claim it. But the whole time that she's there, she's getting like millions of dollars just because she's like living in this house, and she's fulfilling like her inheritance, like the will, whatever you call it, I don't know. And so that's where we're at. And then there's like a part where I'm pretty sure, so the guy that she got freaky with is the guy that is the groundskeeper for this house. Okay, are you following me? But then he comes up to her in the dark, which first of all, like she's outside this creepy house. He comes up to her in the dark and he's like talking to her, and he has an Irish accent, or is it Scottish? Please don't be mad at me. It's a Scottish accent, my bad. He has a Scottish accent, and first of all, you're in Louisiana. How many people in Louisiana have a Scottish accent? I mean, I'm not from there, but I just feel like it can't be that many people. And you're not even going to question the fact that it could be the same dude just because you can't see his face. Also, if you're in the dark and you're at this creepy house, and this dude just comes up to you, not even going to flip out? Like, I don't know. Anyways, she doesn't suspect that it's him. He knows her name, and he gave her a fake name because he says that his name is completely different from what his actual name is. I'm pretty sure. But her name was the same. She gave him her name, and she says her name. again when they meet at the house. So does he know that it's her? Like, that's what I'm gathering. And so now I'm in chapter 8 and I don't know what's happening. I paused it to go get ready for bed. I feel like this is going to be a very standard mystery, but also it's supposed to be a fantasy. So, oh, have I been out of focus this entire time? Oh God. Anyways, I don't know what's happening. And I don't understand it fully, but I'm going to continue this. Yeah. Also, I very much questioned DNFing this after like 2 chapters. I was like, do I just stop reading because I just wasn't enjoying it? I still don't know if I'm fully enjoying it. Do I even like reading at this point? I'm questioning it. I haven't updated you guys all day. I am about halfway through The House at Watch Hill. I do plan on wrapping it up probably tomorrow. I don't think I'm going to finish it tonight, but so far I'm okay with it. Our main character has some type of like psychic thing that's going on with her. We're not really sure what it is. She's not really sure what it is, and that's bothering me. Like, I want to know more about it, but I hate how they're approaching it. And obviously there's more going on with this house. It says it in the description, but I don't know. I don't really care. It's not really giving like fantasy at all. It's definitely more like it has fantastical elements sprinkled in, but it's very much just like a normal life she's living so far. And we're 50% through. It's very slow moving. There's not a lot happening, and we're just not getting a lot. There's a room in her, I can't remember if it was the office or the bedroom of the woman who passed away and she inherited this house from, right? And she's trying to figure out what that goes to, and so we're trying to figure that out, and it's just, nothing's really like doing it for me. It's just, I don't know, I feel like I just need more. I'm not a big fan of our main character either. She's very much like, I'm tolerating her, but she's not anyone who I absolutely love, but I don't like absolutely hate her. I'm just like tolerating her, and it takes a lot for me to hate a character. My most hated main character though still stands to be the main character from My Year of Rest and Relaxation. I hated her with a passion, and she's not topping it. But I don't particularly love her either. Yeah, we don't like her. Anyways, it's like I said, like 8, it's past 8. So we're gonna go ahead and pull our day 12 advent calendar pick, and hopefully it's not the, I think the highest amount of reading time that I have in here is 6 hours. So Domino, you can't hit the tripod, baby. You can't lean against it, okay? Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do day 12, and hopefully it's something good. Right, Goofus? Right? You want to look at it first? Okay. All I see is read. Okay, this is what it says. I'm pretty sure this says read for 1 hour today. Okay. That's easy. I have probably already surpassed that today. I typically read over an hour every day. So I've probably surpassed that. Thank God it wasn't the 6-hour prompt, because that would have been fun. But I can do an hour. I think I've already done that. If not, I'm definitely gonna read for an hour tonight. So we're good. We're good. The main plan is just to finish this then, because yeah, it's definitely gonna take over an hour to finish it too. But like I said, I'll probably finish it in the morning. It's just really slow moving, and I just don't care. I just don't. What? What is it? You sad boy.
How can you look at yourself in the mirror and not think, ah, I'm so gorgeous, I'm such a happy boy? Why not? Yeah. Why do you not think that?
I finished The House at Watch Hill. It's like a 3-star. It's okay. This book kind of feels like a prelude to a series. Like, this shouldn't have been the first book, because all we're getting is her kind of learning about this new world that she's kind of thrust into, and it's just not something that needed to be a whole book. It ends on a cliffhanger, and I don't care to like continue, and that's how you know that it's bad. Also, I think I mentioned this a couple, like, not last night, the night before when I started this, but the person who she was with in the beginning is not the groundskeeper. I was mistaken on that. And so the groundskeeper is a completely different dude, and I think that's going to be her like main love interest throughout the series. The ending was, I'm not going to say predictable, but elements of it were, and for that points are knocked down, because if I can predict it, then I know it's not great, because I'm not typically able to predict stuff. So that's how I know the book was not like fantastic. Yeah, this could have been a lot shorter. We're kicking about 350 pages, and we could have knocked it down to under 200. It feels kind of like a filler episode. The writing is not fantastic. This author has been writing for a long time, and it didn't feel like it. And I didn't love it. So what we've learned from this experiment is my dog is terrible at picking books. And I'm blaming this on him. So we're on to the next. I did read for an hour, actually more than an hour last night. I stayed up until about 2 a.m. reading. So we're definitely good on that. And then we're on to the next day. I really need a good book. I don't know. Oh, this is long. Okay. Alright, hopefully that focused. Read a book with a candle on the cover. Okay. I'm gonna have to think about this, guys, because I don't know. I have a couple audiobooks, so let me look at those real quick. And if I don't have any of those with the candle on the cover, I'm gonna have to do some searching. Okay, I have secured a book that I am planning on picking up, and that is, hold on, let me get to the point where I can actually show you the cover. Idle Burning. This is the cover. It has multiple candles on it, so it counts. And let me tell you, that was really difficult to find. There's not a lot of books with candles on the covers, and I was mistaken in thinking that there were. And that's my bad. But I did find that one, and I've been wanting to read it for a really long time. I got both the ebook and the audiobook, so I'm gonna see which one I like more, and also I can bounce around if I want to. From my understanding, what Idle Burning is about is this girl who's obsessed with a J-pop idol, and she's starts like writing a blog about them, and she's obsessed, and it has a lot of commentary on fandoms and the culture surrounding fans and fandoms and idols in general. And I'm really excited to pick this up. One of the reasons why I picked this up is because I read The Band last year, and I really love that book. I think that it's very like mundane, and honestly I don't know if I would still enjoy it if I read it now, but I understand what it's doing and what it's saying, and I think that that's important in and of itself. And yeah, so I have a whole review up about that I can link below, but I really am excited to get into this one. The audiobook's only 3 hours long, so I can get through that fairly quickly. I do want to talk about Idle Burning real quick because I need to talk about this. I love this book. I think I would give it like a 4.5 stars, somewhere along those lines. I really think that it's one of those books that I feel like you would gain so much more from reading it in its original language. Although translated books are like valuable, and I am so glad that I was able to read it. You can tell that the author, and she talks about this at the end of the book in like a note or whatever, she talks about the use of certain words and phrases and why she chose to use those, and the significance of using certain words in this book. And I think this is definitely one of those books that the author was so intentional about the way that she was conveying this information and talking about it. And I just think that this book is just so well put together, and it's incredibly short. It's not even that long, but it feels right. And that's coming from somebody who doesn't read a lot of short books and enjoys them. It's okay. It's okay. What was I saying? Idle Burning is fantastic. I loved it. I think that I really want to, because I listened to the audiobook completely yesterday. That wasn't my intention, but I did really enjoy the audiobook, and I kind of like read along with the ebook, and I want to physically own this and annotate it and really take my time with it at some point. But for now, I can say that I really did enjoy this book, and I think that this is a solid book. And I don't think that's going to change when I go to like physically read it and annotate it, but yeah, I did really enjoy it. So with that being said, let's get are we on 14? We're on day 14. Oh my god, that's so exciting. Also, I have something sticky on my hand and I didn't know where it came from. So, I'm gonna ignore that for now. Okay, so we're on day 14. Oh, I'm supposed to be, I didn't even see it. Okay. Can you read that? Finish a book you put down. Okay. That could be several books. I'm not really sure what I want to choose for this. I could go back to My Kind of Trouble, but I'm not really sure. I have quite a few books on my physical TBR that I could choose for this as well. So I'm gonna have to determine what I want to read. But I do love this prompt because towards the end of the year I try to finish up books that I put down throughout the year, because I'm such a mood reader, and sometimes I think I'm in the mood for a book and then I start it and I'm like, actually no, I would rather not. So I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to read, but I have quite a few options for this prompt. It is now the next day. I have updates. So let me put this down so I stop rattling this. First and foremost, I did pick out a book and finish it yesterday, and then I finished it today. I picked it out yesterday, I finished it today. Yeah. So I ended up going with There. I was about 20% through this, and I just decided to pick it up and finish it. This is a book that I wanted to make sure that I got to this year, so I'm really glad that I did so. I've been racking my brain on how to really describe this book to you, because it's so much more than the synopsis of it, but I also feel like at the same time it's just so mundane, and
you're following these characters and how their stories kind of intertwine, but at the same time, like, the actual plot that's described in the synopsis is very small. So I'm gonna read the synopsis, but I'm not really sure how, I'm not really sure what to, I'm just gonna read the synopsis to you. So it says, There is a relentlessly paced, multi-generational story about violence and recovery, memory and identity, and the beauty and despair woven into the history of a nation and its people. It tells the story of 12 characters, each of whom has private reasons for traveling to the big Oakland powwow. It goes on to like describe each of the characters, but I honestly think you should go into this with like the smallest amount of idea of what actually is happening in this book. It's so well written and such like a well-rounded book. Following 12 characters in this small amount of pages is kind of a lot, and I didn't particularly love that aspect. Like, when we're following so many characters, it's a lot. It's a lot for me. I honestly don't like books that follow more than like 4 characters. I think that it just gets too chaotic and too much to keep up with, and also I feel like you're missing so much from the book and the people, the characters and the characters' stories, because there's only so many pages and so much that you can talk about within those pages. And when you have 12 characters, it's a lot, because you're talking about 12 different characters and it's like a 300-page book, and so they're really not even getting that much page time, and so really you're not getting a lot of the characters, although this is very character driven. I don't know how else to really describe this book. I think if I was rating it, I would give it about a 4-star. I really enjoyed it. It's not what I thought it was at all, and I kind of love that, and yeah, I'm glad I finished it. So I'm gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna carry on to our next book. We're very close to the end. Can you see it's so small, the little stack. But we're at 15, which is really exciting. So I'm gonna read today's book, and then I think that's gonna be the end of this vlog, and then the next vlog is going to have the rest of the days, and I think that works. Okay, so you're first. Can you see it? Oh, is that upside down? I can't even tell. Alright. Read a library book. Wait. I have 3 library books, 2 of which are graphic novels, and I could pick those. I could. But why would I do that when I can read what I want to read? I think I'm going to pick this up, which means I'm going to physically read, which means we're making a huge mistake. Probably. As previously stated before, I am a very slow reader. I don't read fast physically, and for challenges like this, audiobooks they're my best friend. Audiobooks are my best friend. But for the purpose of reading a library book, I do think I'm going to pick up So Thirsty. I know this has to do with vampires. I have no idea what else. I'm very excited to pick this up. Do I think this is going to be a great book and I'm going to absolutely love this? I'm not really sure about that. But do I think it might be a fun time? Yes, I am. I'm sure about that one. So, I'm going to pick this up and I'll let you know what it's about when I read more. But, yeah. This is what we're reading. I didn't end up reading that much of So Thirsty yesterday. I got to page 47. So there's that. But to actually fulfill that prompt, I ended up picking up a different book anyways, because this book, I don't know if I'm gonna love it, and I also don't know if I want to read it all right now. We're following this woman and her friend as they go away to this birthday trip for the weekend, and her husband had surprised her with this so that basically he could cheat on her. And so far it's really just her talking about getting older and not wanting to get older, and how she feels about being older. And it's just, I don't know, I don't particularly love it. More than anything, I'm not in love with the writing. I think it's just very basic. I don't know, there's nothing about the writing that's standing out to me as like something I'm enjoying. This is it's under 300 pages, so realistically I could finish this today or tomorrow, but I just don't want to. And so instead I ended up picking up Your Shadow Half Remains. I'm really enjoying this so far. I'm currently 53% through the audiobook. I had the audiobook already, so I just ended up picking that up, and I really hope that I didn't write that on one of the slips of paper, because if I did, I'll have to figure out something else to read for that. But regardless, I am really enjoying this. This is considered like a post-apocalyptic book. We're following our main character, and basically what's happening in this book is if you look into someone's eyes, you get like violent and like murderous, and you want to kill people. And I'm not really sure if you die after you've killed people. I'm not really sure. It's reminding me a lot of, hold on, let me grab it because it's literally right here. It's reminding me a lot of The Violence, which I read earlier this year, literally just like a couple months ago. I think in October or August. There's something in my eye. My eyes have been bothering me all morning. It reminds me a lot of The Violence in the way, obviously, that you get this urge to murder people. It's completely different how people get the virus in The Violence versus Your Shadow Half Remains, because in Your Shadow Half Remains, we are getting this through looking at people's eyes. So you look into someone's eyes, you get murderous, you kill people. Yeah. And so we're following our main character in this book, who has been alone for the entirety of this virus. And I don't know if we should call it a virus, but that's what I'm gonna call it. And she's basically just alone. If you're not alone in this, you're pretty much doomed from the beginning, because you can't look into anyone's eyes. So she's been alone for this time. I'm not exactly sure if it even said how long, but one day this guy shows up and he's like, I'm your neighbor, I just moved in. It's very odd how this is set up, because it's still so much like modern day. We're like, our main character is ordering groceries, and it's not like the world stopped completely. It's just they had to readjust how to manage life, because you can't look at people's eyes. And so I think that's really interesting, and honestly says a lot about the world, because in The Violence, for example, we're getting the beginnings of this virus, and it's like it's not like they know much about it, so it's very much they're learning about it. Whereas in Your Shadow Half Remains, they already know what's happening, and it's them just trying to figure out how to adjust. And so our characters are just hanging out, and it's talking about this virus, but it's also just talking about like being with other people. And it touches a lot on the importance of being around someone and having someone in your life, because obviously it's really difficult to do so in their circumstances. So I'm enjoying it. It's a fairly short audiobook, fairly short book in general. The audiobook is 4 hours long, so I have about an hour left of it, and I'm gonna finish that up today, and I'm gonna consider that my library book because I got it through Libby, so it's technically a library book. I got it from the library. But I am going to go ahead and get day 16 because I need to know what it is. And I figured why not go ahead and pull it and see. So I'm gonna continue working on my reading journal while I finish up this audiobook because I'm almost done with it. I've been like working on it for quite some time. It's not even difficult, it's just there's a lot that I'm doing. So I do want to make a video talking about it, but that's besides the point. We're gonna go ahead and figure out what this is. I'm gonna let you see first, and I think it's upside down. Oh, I think this one's easy. This says read for 2 hours today. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Like I said, I only have about an hour of the audiobook, and I have been listening to it for about 30 minutes or so already this morning, but I can definitely get another 30 minutes to an hour in another book, but I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna finish Your Shadow Half Remains, and then we'll figure out something else about another book. It is now a little while later. It's currently 11:02 p.m. I have been doing quite a bit of stuff today. I got a video up. I finished Your Shadow Half Remains, which I'm fixing to talk about. I've been helping my brother with a project. Maybe that's all I've done. I honestly, it feels like a lot more, but I guess I didn't even talk to you guys until decently later in the day. It was like probably around 2 or so, I want to say. So, yeah. Okay, maybe today hasn't been that busy. I did spend quite a few hours putting together photos to print out so I would have them for my bullet journal. I have been working on this journal so much. This has been like my project here recently, and it's almost done. I'm very excited about it. It's not like super great. I'm not very artistically inclined, but I do really love it, and I'm happy with it, and I think it'll be fine for the purpose that I have it for. Back to books. Let's talk about books. I have finished Your Shadow Half Remains. I finished that a little bit ago, like quite a few hours ago. First of all, this book is, I kind of love it. It reminds me of quite a few books that I've read, not because of the plot, but just like the vibes, where we're going with it, what we're doing. That's kind of what it reminds me of. It reminds me of And Then I Woke Up a little bit, and just like the vibes, the just atmosphere of the book is very similar. Like I said, it reminds me of the violence. It's compared to Bird Box, but I've never read the book or watched the movie, so I can't actually say for certain that it's similar. I have found out this year though that I enjoy Josh Malerman's works quite a bit and have read like 3 of his books this year, so I'm destined to get to Bird Box sooner or later. But I really like this book. So I've already kind of talked about what it's about, and it's so just odd, and I really wish I would have read this physically. Like, I really think that I would have gained so much more from it if I had read it physically, and one day I will, because this is definitely a book that I can see myself returning to and rereading. It's just, it's I don't even know how to describe this book. It's just creepy and it's odd. I don't know how to describe this book. It's great. I really enjoyed it. I think that if I were reading it, I'd give it like a 4-star, and it was quite a wild ride, and I loved it. I did. And now I have to figure out what book I'm reading next. I still have about an hour of reading time left. I haven't read anything since then, so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna read. I do think that I'm going to get another audiobook because I want to finish my reading journal and work on that some more. So I do think I'm going to get another audiobook. I just don't know what I want to read. I think I'm going to pick up Society of Lies. This is a longer audiobook though, and that's why I was like questioning whether I should. So if I pick up an audiobook, it's going to be that. But I also have So Thirsty that I could continue in. I just don't know if that's what I want to do or not. So I'm debating, do I continue in this or do I listen to an audiobook? But I do think I'm going to listen to an audiobook so I can work on my journal. It is now the next morning, but I was coming on here to wrap this vlog up. I finished up an hour in Society of Lies last night. So Society of Lies is about these two sisters were going back and forth between their different points of views and different times. So that listening to the audiobook is a little confusing, but yeah, we're following these two sisters who have both attended Princeton, and so we're following the older sister when she's at Princeton and then when she figures out that her sister has died. And then her sister, we're just following her at Princeton, as far as I know. Primarily though, we are just following this older sister as she's trying to figure out what happened to her younger sister at Princeton, and there's like a lot going on behind the scenes. It feels just kind of like a standard mystery. Something happened when the older sister was at Princeton, and so naturally she's like worried that it's tied to her sister's death, and that's really like what we're following. I don't think it's anything outstanding, but I'm having a good time, and that's what matters to me more. So with that being said, I do want to go ahead and wrap up all the books that I read. I read 8 books in this vlog, which I'm really happy about, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap them up. We first have Witch Hat Atelier Volume 2. I really enjoyed this. I finished this up after I had started it months ago in this vlog. I just love the whimsy of this and the magic, and it's just so cozy, and the vibes are immaculate in this. So I wrapped that up. The next book that I finished is The Glass Menagerie. I understand why this is a classic. I just don't care for it myself. It's okay. It's nothing that I am going to talk about forever and absolutely love, but I understand why people do love this. Next book is The Christmas Murder Game. This was just a standard murder mystery. There was nothing really happening that was catching my attention, and now that it has been quite a few days since I've read it, it's a little more difficult for me to think about the ending and remember what happened, and points deducted for that. This Lore Olympus Volume 1. Once again, I get why people love it. I just didn't personally love it. I don't think I'm going to continue with reading the books, but who knows, maybe I will. And then we have The House of Watch Hill. I really enjoyed this, but I also didn't really care. This book feels like a prequel, and the fact that it's the first in the series is lame. I feel like we're missing so much of the story in this. Like, this is not a short book. There should be more going on than what there is, and I didn't love that. And then the next book I read, I actually did really love, and that's Idle Burning. This is a really short book, and I absolutely loved every moment of it. I want to physically own this. I love it so much, and it's just one of those books that I relate to, but also I just love how it's told, how it's written, and the intent behind every single sentence is really prevalent, and you can tell. And yeah, that's probably my top book this week. The next book that I read is There There. This book is we're following a lot of characters and there's a lot going on, but I did really enjoy this. I do wish it was longer. I do wish that I do wish that my brain connected the story a little bit better and the characters, because following so many characters is really difficult for me. And overall, I do really love this and I do think it's a solid book. The last book I read was Your Shadow Half Remains. This is a novella and it is a horror. It's post-apocalyptic and it's so creepy and so eerie, but at the same time just great. I don't know how to explain this book, and for that I kind of love it. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. If you made it this far, thank you. If you didn't, understandable. I will talk to you later. If you made it this far, leave me some books. I'm gonna go. I will see you later.